With Allah's name, the Lord of all systems of knowledge, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. Peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum. I am very humbled and my heart is full. I can remember being 7 years old and being a student of Dr. Ahmed Saka, and my father taking me to Sunday school with the Muslim Student Association and attending the summer camp. And I never would have thought that we would grow to this and that I would be here. And even more than that, that I would be here without my leader, Imam W.D. Muhammad, and my father. Alhamdulillah, we are Muslim, and we know that Allah plans, and He is the best of planners. I just would like to say that Imam Muhammad, he lived his life for the pleasure of Allah, and he worked tirelessly, very hard, to reach his human excellence and to encourage and to be an example and to help all of us to reach our human excellence. And I would say thank you, and publicly, I will say this is my work, to reach my human excellence, inshallah, and to work with all my brothers and sisters of the human family, not just Muslims, but Christians and Jews, all righteous people working towards good for all humanity. Thank you so much, Sister Ingrid Matson. Thank you, ISNA. Assalamu alaikum.
As Sister Layla said, one of the great legacies that Imam Muhammad left behind was a commitment to interfaith engagement, to finding common ground with people of other faiths and people of goodwill. He taught us, as many of our other teachers and scholars have taught us, that we do not have to give up our commitment to Islam in order to reach out to others, that we can be fully committed to our faith, to our community, and at the same time be fully committed to cooperating with others in good deeds and for the public good. It is within that spirit that today we have invited a very distinguished guest to our convention, Pastor Rick Warren. Pastor Rick Warren earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from California Baptist University, a Master of Divinity from Southwestern Theological Seminary, and a Doctor of Ministry from Fuller Theological Seminary. He founded Saddleback Church in Lake Forest in 1980 with one other family. Today, approximately 20,000 people attend the weekend services. Saddleback offers more than 200 community ministries and support groups. He is the author of The Purpose-Driven Life with over 30 million copies sold worldwide. He built the Purpose-Driven Network, a global alliance of pastors from 162 countries and hundreds of denominations who have been trained to be purpose-driven churches. He also founded Pastors.com, an online interactive community that provides sermons, forums, and other practical resources. Pastor Warren and his wife Kay are passionate about attacking the 5 global giants of poverty, disease, spiritual emptiness, self-serving leadership, and illiteracy. His solution, the peace plan, is a massive effort to mobilize Christians around the world into an outreach effort to promote reconciliation, equip servant leaders, assist the poor, care for the sick, and educate the next generation. There are two other things I'd like to say about Pastor Rick Warren before I invite him on the stage. One is this. I think it's very appropriate in our evening of fundraising, although we finished with that now, don't worry, I'm not going to ask you for more, to recognize the extraordinary example that Rick Warren sets for his own community. I think he was surprised by the extraordinary success of his book. And you can imagine selling 30 million copies, that ended up with a great deal of royalty wealth. This is a person who then examined the blessings that God had bestowed on him, this extraordinary surprise, and inverted the traditional system of tithing. So instead of giving 10% of his wealth, which is a traditional tithe, he decided to give away 90% of his wealth. And since that commitment, he's been raising that amount even more. God says in the Holy Quran, "Istabiqul khairat," compete in good works. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this in the context of recognizing religious diversity and the fact that religious diversity is ordained by God. So what should we take from the fact of divinely ordained religious diversity? It is istabiqul khairat, compete in good works. So here's someone, certainly in charitable giving, with whom we have a very stiff competition. But the other aspect of his ministry that I'd like to point out is reflected in the biography that I read. The kind of church that Pastor Rick Warren represents is not like the Catholic Church, for example, a hierarchical system in which there's a clear organization that comes from the top and goes downward. This is a grassroots gathering and community of Christians who come together and organize themselves in a secular society, in a country like America where there's a separation of church and state. With their own commitment and with their own resources, without state support, without a historical, hierarchical process, they have been able to come together to establish best practices, share resources, and support each other. So that, I believe, is a great model for American Muslims as well. I'm very much an admirer of Pastor Warren's organization, and also his great spirit of outreach. He has been someone who has increased his interfaith outreach in the last number of years, and many of us have very much enjoyed his compassion and kindness and wisdom when we've encountered him. So with that, I'd like to invite Reverend Warren to the stage.